So I'm Jim Patterson, proud owner of a Scout430. This is my bad boy right now, the Chingona. I've got a partial Jim BIXPY set up. I should have listened to him fully. He told me to get full rail set up, and I went with a partial one, so I'll probably be going back to him to get the full rail on both sides. It's going to help a lot more with the stabilization of the seat. But yeah, absolutely love this thing. It's going on about 2 years. Pulled in not as many fish as I wish I had, but gotten some pretty good ones, and enjoy the mostly the inshore variety areas. I haven't gotten too far off to go and scout out any of the buoys or go after any big yellowtail, but have a lot of fun on this bad boy. A lot of calico, a lot of sheephead, a lot of white sea bass, of that kind of variety. But yeah, I got a nice bass seat on it, which I'd highly recommend. You can get off Amazon, super comfortable, lots of good back support on this bad boy. I got a Tahatsu 6, which I think gives me a perfect balance of weight, getting on down onto the ramp and getting this thing onto the Scout. Super easy, but also this thing has no problem averaging about 14 on a nice glassy day. Gets a little choppy, and then you're around the 11 to 12 mile per hour, which is just fine, depending on where you're going. So definitely stabilizer bar. Don't even consider not doing that. It's like literally the key to this thing, unless you like the old canoe style sit down the whole time fishing, which I can't stand. I want to be up and throwing, so this thing is key to that. You're gonna think of a lot of different variations on how you want to set up your rigs. I love the milk crate deal. I had to chisel it out just a little bit to make it fit, but I love it. I put my gas tank up front just to kind of keep that bow down, because I'm a big fat ass and I sit in the back, and if I don't, it'll ride a little high. But other than that, that's my gig. Got a little baby Garmin I thought I'd start off with and see where I went with it. I'll definitely be upgrading, so if you know you're into it and you know you're gonna do it, skip the 5-inch, go straight up to the 7 and the 9. It's worth maybe picking something up that's used or whatever, because they can be pricey. But definitely a bigger Garmin would have been the key call. So that's it. Hopefully brought the bait bag, because I'm always highly optimistic. You never know, you get to throw, or kill bag, sorry, you get to throw something in there today. But I'm about 98% catch and release. Most of the stuff goes right back to the party, but if it's big and juicy like a halibut or something like that, it's coming home with me. And that's my spiel. That's my gig. I absolutely love it. If you're even debating it, reach out to us on the Facebook page. We'd happy to answer any questions that you've got, and if you want, maybe even take you for a little spin on this bad boy. So yeah.
You hold yourself really well. You should make your own YouTube channel.
That's the caffeine kicking in. That's just the morning caffeine.
Alrighty, so today we are at Oceanside Harbor. The goal was to head offshore for some bluefin tuna, but I met someone new out at the launch ramp today, so we're gonna stay local and go for bass, inshore species, whatever else bites. Maybe we'll head offshore to maybe film some dolphins, whales, or even go for tuna last minute. But we'll play it by ear. So today's setup, I have the Scout430, got the Staby bar with me. The only thing I have new is this bass seat. Before, as you may have remembered, we had the plastic, chair, and that was a pain in the butt when going offshore. So thankfully, this thing has cushion now and stinking back support. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a whirl. We got 3 rods in the back, 6-gallon external fuel tank, Yamaha outboard, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and meet up with our friend over yonder and get to it. So sometimes when you're fishing a spot and you don't have an anchor and you want to stay in place and you don't have the option to a GPS trolling motor because those are way too expensive, quick little tip or hack, you're going to take one of your bigger setups out of your gear, cut off whatever you have on there, and you can either tie up a triangle torpedo sinker, or in my case I like to use a giant tube. Nice big fat heavy 1-ouncer. And the goal is to purposely get myself snagged. So we are fishing buck pipe out of Oceanside. It's about 2 miles from the harbor. And the problem we're having is we're drifting off the spot super quick. The swells, maybe, you know, 2 feet at 9 seconds, little itty bitty intervals. So I'm gonna keep the tag end off because I don't really care. And now what we're gonna do is we are going to head back over the pipe. I don't have a fish finder with me today. I'm just using Google Maps, which I don't even know if you guys can see, but I've mapped out the entire stinking pipe. When I did have a fish finder, of course. All right, so we are directly by the pipe. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down. I'm just gonna set it in the rod holder because I want the line to lay down sideways so that it'll have more of a chance to snag onto a rock. In the meantime, we'll cast out a line and see if we can't get something. Two for two. Well, we caught ourselves a fish and we got ourselves anchored. So now that we are anchored up, I'm gonna reel it tight a little more so we can be directly over it. Perfect, that's about good enough. I know where the pipe is, I'm staying in place, and now I'm not gonna drift anywhere, so I'm pretty much anchored. So instead of my line flopping all over the place because I'm fishing about 6-pound test, now everything will be nice and lined up where I cast. Fishing the pipe for a little bit. It is now 9 o'clock. I am gonna leave Jim here. My plan was to go offshore originally because I only brought really offshore stuff. I don't really have anything for the pipe, wasn't really catching much. We're gonna go ahead and make a trek kind of sort of offshore. I was told they're fish 30 miles out. I don't have that much time to go 30 miles out, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go straight out from Buccaneer Beach, which is right in front of me, and I'm gonna cruise south towards Carlsbad Canyon. I think I'm gonna start out at 4 miles and then, you know, work my way around and see what's floating. And, you know, as usual, I'll keep you guys updated. All right, so we made it to our destination. We're about 11, 12 miles. Chabasco is behind me to your right. Got a boat over on my left-hand side, got a few boats behind me. It has hit the time. I have to start making my way back in. Fortunately, didn't catch anything besides bass from earlier. However, before I go, I do want to put the drone up and just grab some aerial shots. I don't have a fish finder, and the drone is kind of like my own personal fish finder. So sometimes when I fly, I can see if there are fish underneath the surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna grab some shots of some other boats. My only concern is the waves. It's not ideal for flying off a small vessel like this one, It is 2 feet with 9-second intervals, so it's one, it's choppy. Taking off is, you know, easy peasy. It's catching the drone that gets challenging. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up. I'm gonna grab my action shots, make it quick, and then I gotta go. One of my bigger concerns with flying out here in the open ocean around other boats is, especially like tuna fishing, everyone is casting a line out. So unlike working on a chartered boat where the captain will say, hey, you know, we're gonna have a drone up in the air, please do not cast at the drone. You know, I don't have that luxury here, so I'm not gonna fly as close as I usually do, but I am hoping to get some pretty rad shots. It looks like the clouds are moving in, so I'm not gonna have that, you know, blown out, overcast shot of boats. But then the only bummer with that is, you know, I might not be able to see into the water like I would like. So I do have a stick in here that I usually don't use. It's for days like this where, you know, it's a little swelly or if the boat is moving. And it scrolls right onto the bottom here. And what's nice is that I can hold it or catch it and I'm not gonna have worry about hitting the propellers. It does affect the flight just a little bit, but because it's gonna be a short flight, I'm just gonna do it anyways. We'll go ahead and get my settings ready. And usually when flying off a boat or a small craft, make sure all your rods are down. And then I do auto takeoff, so, because I can't do 2 at once, it's a little dangerous. With auto takeoff, it goes straight up and then you just push the power button all the way up. Just like that. So I'm just doing a directly straight up shot. I'm looking directly down at myself. And for Instagram Reels, I'm gonna flip this around so it's not gonna be landscape for you guys. Well, I mean, it's gonna be landscape for you guys here on YouTube, but for Instagram, it's gonna be switched vertical. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna add a speed ramp. We just hit our 400-foot limit. They are yelling boil, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the drone over there and I'm gonna try to get some aerial, you know, direct down shots. I am glad I put the stick on. Wow, we are way past overtime. I gotta book it home. Probably got about a 2-hour ride back. Not looking forward to it. I am looking forward to editing some of this footage later. Glad I put this thing on. Got a long ways back home.